Hello and welcome. 7 new exoplanets, 7 new frog species, and with many more interesting scientific stories, this is Aishwarya welcoming you to a fresh new episode of Science Monitor, our weekly update on all that is happening in the field of science and technology in the country and across the world. Well, we will tell you about novel carbon dioxide-based solar plants and also have a discussion on a new joint entrance exam. But first, let's take a look at the headlines. NASA discovers 7 Earth-like exoplanets. 3 may harbor life. DU researchers discover new frog species. Novel technology to harvest solar energy using carbon dioxide. Ensuring fair price to farmers. Sugarcane sampler machine to assess sugar content stocks. And in our In Focus segment today, we will discuss about the Common Engineering Entrance Exam to happen in 2018-19. What if there is life outside Earth? Or what if we had to migrate to another planet sometime in future? Well, I'm asking questions that so far don't have answers. But now, in one of the greatest discoveries that NASA has discovered, an exoplanet system with 7 Earth-like planets with a central star. What is more, 3 of the planets are habitable and may harbor life. Well, the system is located 40 light years away from Earth, and this is the first time that so many Earth-like planets have been discovered. Let us see this report.
Does life exist outside our planet? A question that has bewildered scientists and common man alike for centuries. While so far, we do not have any clue as to the existence of life outside Earth, we definitely know about the existence of Earth-like exoplanets. Adding to this knowledge is the recent astonishing discovery by NASA. Yes, NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope has discovered the first known system of 7 Earth-sized planets around a single star. The recently reported discovery sets a new record for greatest number of habitable zone planets found around a single star outside our solar system. According to reports, 3 of these planets are definitely located in the habitable zone, which means that they are located in an area around the parent star, where the planet is likely to have a rocky surface and retain liquid water, while all the 7 planets could have liquid water under the right atmospheric condition.
These planets are among the best of all the planets we know to follow up, to see, for example, with the James Webb Space Telescope that we're going to launch last year, the atmospheres, and also to look at biosignatures if there are any. The discovery gives us a hint that finding a second Earth is not just a matter of if, but when.
The exoplanet system has been named TRAPPIST-1 after the transiting planets and planetesimals small telescope and is located 40 light years or 235 trillion miles from Earth, outside our solar system in the constellation Aquarius. The discovery has been published in the journal Nature, and NASA announced the path-breaking discovery at a news briefing at NASA headquarters in Washington recently.
Take 3, take 5, take 7, and you can just imagine how many worlds.
While the team has precisely measured the sizes of the 7 planets and developed first estimates of the masses and densities using Spitzer data, scientists are now gearing up to trace liquid water on these planets and understand their atmospheric and surface composition along with weather patterns and temperature changes. Spitzer is an infrared telescope that trails Earth as it orbits the Sun and has been used to study TRAPPIST-1, as the star in the system glows brightest in infrared light. The discovery, needless to say, could be a significant step towards understanding habitable environments beyond Earth. And who knows, someday we may stumble upon life forms in one of those exoplanets.
In yet another 7, the Frogmen of India, Professor S.D. Biju and his team from DU have discovered 7 new frog species from the Western Ghat. All these species belong to the genus of night frogs, and interestingly 4 of them are so tiny that they can easily sit on our nail or a coin. More details in this report.
Frogs, not a very attractive organism to many of us. But frogs occupy a very crucial space in the food chain and play a vital role in maintaining the ecological balance. Placed in the middle of the natural food chain, frogs keep insects' population in check and in turn an important food source for birds, snakes and other animals throughout the food web. Now, adding to the rich frog biodiversity of the country is another fascinating discovery from the team of Frogman of India, Professor S.D. Biju from Delhi University. The team, which has discovered many new species before, has discovered 7 new frog species belonging to the genus Nyctibatrachus, commonly known as night frogs.
We were surprised to find that the miniature forms are in fact locally abundant and fairly common. They were probably overlooked by researchers because of their extremely small size, secretive terrestrial habitats and insect-like calls.
What is more interesting is that 4 among the 7 are miniature frog species. The miniature-sized frogs measure only 12.2 to 15.4 millimeters, which means they are so small that they can comfortably sit on a coin or a thumbnail. And hence, they are now listed among the smallest known frogs in the world. The team has discovered the miniature species from under damp forest leaf litter and marsh vegetation in the Western Ghats region. According to researchers, these miniature frogs are fairly abundant in the Western Ghats, but they have not been widely studied because of their extremely small size, secretive habitats and insect-like calls, because of which they were believed to be juveniles of other species. The discovery of several new species can provide useful insights into the evolution of endemic frog lineages in the Western Ghats.
With the increasing demand for solar energy, there is also a demand for more robust technologies to harvest solar energy. But along these lines, now researchers of IISc Bengaluru have developed a novel power plant which uses carbon dioxide as heating fluid to generate electricity. Well, the technology is not only cost-effective and reduces water wastage, but is also 50% more efficient than the conventional system.
The world has accepted solar power as the future. And now, the need is for robust technologies to maximize the harvest and utilization of solar power, or concentrating solar power technology in short. Presently, the solar power technology relies upon steam-based Rankine cycles, where heat transfer fluids are heated up to 400 degrees Celsius as it passes through the solar collector. The heat is then transferred to steam, which expands through a turbine to produce mechanical work. This conventional system is not only difficult to scale, but is capital and resource intensive, often with low efficiency. But addressing these issues is the new supercritical carbon dioxide-based solar thermal power plant, developed by the team of Professor Pradeep Datta at the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. This novel concentrating solar power technology uses a supercritical carbon dioxide Brayton cycle power plant for the conversion of solar radiation into electricity. And as the name suggests, the system uses supercritical CO2 as the working fluid.
Now, in the last 10 years or so, or last decade or so, there has been considerable development that has gone towards development of supercritical carbon dioxide as a viable alternative to water-based or the steam-based systems. The biggest advantage of this is that since the entire system is very compact and it has much higher power densities, you can basically use it on top of a solar tower. So this can be mounted directly on top of solar tower, where you can generate heat through a heliostat field or something of that sort, which is not possible in a conventional steam-based system because sheer bulk of the entire system.
In this particular program that we have, we are using supercritical carbon dioxide as the working fluid, and this supercritical carbon dioxide, when it operates in a Brayton cycle is very similar to the cycle that is used in aircraft engines. In that way, we can have very high efficiency even at a moderate source temperature such as 500 degrees or 600 degrees Celsius, which is easily realizable in the case of solar thermal. So with this high efficiency and also compact power block system, the cost of power can come down and be competitive with any other.
According to researchers, with the use of CO2 as the working fluid, which has a very high specific volume, the cycle can attain very high efficiency at moderate temperatures, and the efficiency of the system could be more than 50% compared to the traditional systems. Besides this, the novel system is based on waterless dry cooling and hence reduces the wastage of water, and is quite versatile and can also be used for energy generation from nuclear and waste sources. Towards this end, IISc has already set up the world's first supercritical CO2 test loop for solar power at the laboratory scale. The project is part of the Indo-US Joint Clean Energy Research and Development Center, and Sandhya National Lab is a consortium partner. BHEL, in partnership with IISc, has developed a volumetric solar receiver for SCO2. Needless to say, this novel concentrating solar power technology could emerge as one of the most promising options for an efficient and cost-effective energy future.
Given the demand for sugar, sugarcane can be one of the most profitable crops for farmers. But that is not the case. Now, absence of accurate techniques and rigged practices result in underestimation of sugar in the stock, and farmers are paid far less than the fair price. But the new sugar sampler machine may be a ray of hope. Well, the machine can measure the accurate sugar content in a stock and ensure fair price.
Sugarcane, one of the most important cash crops of the country. With a large area of the country under sugarcane cultivation, sugar industry is one of the largest and growing sectors in the country. While this implies that sugarcane farmers are likely to be the beneficiaries, the sad truth is that sugarcane farmers remain one of the most exploited section of our society. While sugar millers manage to keep their profit margin intact, rigging of measurement of the sugar content in the stock has been pointed out as a reason for underpaying the farmers. But fair prices will now be ensured with the new sugarcane sampler machine. The machine has been developed by Mr. Zacharias Matthew, who has till date invented more than 300 people-oriented machines and who has 27 international patents to his credit.
हमने यूज़ किया है और ड्रिलिंग करके सैंपल लेगा 8 to 10 kg लेगा और कन्वेयर में सीधा जाएगा, बाद में श्रेडिंग होएगा। श्रेडिंग करेगा तो एकदम प्रिपेड कैन एकदम बारीक बारीक कर देते हैं। वो बाद में उसके अंदर सेंसिंग करके उसका सुकोस लेवल लेके कंप्यूटर में लाते हैं, वो भी 15 सेकंड के अंदर आ जाता है। टोटल गाड़ी आके रुके उसके अंदर ड्रिलिंग करके करने के लिए 2 to 3 मिनट लगते हैं। उसके अंदर गाड़ी का वजन भी आ जाता है इसके अंदर।
The novel sugarcane sampler machine, which has been developed in collaboration with Tasant Dada Sugar Institute, gives an instant and accurate measure of sugar content that would be produced from a stalk. With the new invention, sugarcane farmers can easily assess the quality and the correct value of their sugarcane produce. While the new machine will help reduce the malpractices in the context of paying farmers and encourage the production of good quality cane, sugar millers who are presently opposed to the idea are also likely to benefit from this through the reduction of production costs and improved efficiency of the factory. The sugarcane sampler machine has already been installed at Gujarat's Narmada Udyog Sehkari Mandi Limited.
Well, it is time for a very short break here, but don't switch channel. We'll be back with lots of exciting stories. Stay tuned. Welcome back. After the break, you're watching Science Monitor. Well, 2018-19 will see a new procedure for admission into professional courses. Yes, with the aim of making admission procedures more transparent and reducing the stress of multiple exams on the students, the HRD Ministry has decided to do away with multiple entrance exams. Well, there will be only one joint engineering entrance exam. Henceforth, the Ministry has entrusted AICTE to take the necessary steps in this direction. So what will be the effect of this step on students and education at large? Well, we will try to find answers to those questions with an expert who will be joining us in the studio. But first, let's take a look at this report.
With the rise of MNCs, the demand for engineering graduates have been growing within the nation and abroad. And with this has come the scenario where engineering colleges have been cropping up in every nook and corner of the country. While the number has gone up, the quality of engineering education, needless to say, has gone down considerably. In an attempt to revive engineering education and training, the Human Resource Development Ministry has set the stage for a single national level engineering entrance test. According to the new amendments, apart from IITs who admit students only through joint entrance examination advanced, all the other institutes will only be able to admit students based on their performance in the joint entrance examination main. This will also be applicable to all the BTech and architecture courses. Towards this end, the government has already directed the All India Council for Technical Education to make an exam on the lines of national eligibility cum entrance test mandatory for admissions. Ministry's order to AICTE also directs the National Engineering Entrance Test to be conducted in English and regional languages more than once a year. According to reports, the government is also getting up to organize national-level web-based counselling, and state governments will be invited to join the process. The states and institutes can prescribe their own admission criteria in addition to the entrance test score. AICTE will finalize the modalities for implementation of the step in consultation with the states. While the proposed move is likely to face resistance from certain state governments and private institutes, it is hoped to work in favor of meritorious students and improve the overall quality of engineering education in the country.
All right, to discuss the single engineering entrance exam now, we have with us in our studio today Professor Tankeshwar Kumar, who is the Vice Chancellor of Deen Bandhu Chotu Ram University of Science and Technology, Murthal, and Guru Jambeshwar University, Hisar. Warm welcome, Professor Tankeshwar, to our show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Sir, now the HRD Ministry has really set the stage for a single national level engineering entrance test. So how do you look at the development?
I think this news is a welcome news by the parents and the students who have been struggling to appear in the multiple tests for the entrance, and you know this you have for many states and you have the many private universities who have been conducting these tests. There are about 40 entrance tests. Now the students on an average may be appearing for 6 to 7 entrance tests after let's say +2 of examination. But you know, if we have a single entrance test, it will be you know, very useful for the students. It will put less pressure to the students.
Absolutely big, in fact, very good news for students. They don't have to really apply for multiple exams. But looking at the institutions, how will they be affected by this decision?
You know, this will also be better for the institution because they will be getting the good students, and you know, this test I hope it will be conducting not only once, maybe twice or thrice in a year. That is to be still to be decided, but you know, if the students can improve their score and they will be appearing at any time they wish, so it will be good for the institution as they will be getting better and better students.
Absolutely. And but you know, looking at the procedure, whole process of admission, how will that be, as in how will the exam be conducted now?
I hope that this exam will be, you know, kind of an online examination as we have like joint entrance examination JEE, and so the online examination and online admission. When you have online admission, it will bring the more transparency and accountability. So I believe that this will bring the real good students, and they will also be approaching from one state to another. So that will be additional advantage that we have. One state will have many state students.
Absolutely. And you know, reports say that about 8 lakh engineering seats are left vacant every year. So with this now decision, do you think this issue will also be addressed?
Indirectly so, because we have so many seats vacant. It may be that some of the engineering colleges are not performing well, or they are not providing quality education. So if they are not providing quality education, I think the students then are preferring the other streams, and other streams are equally are beneficial for the students. They are getting good job in taking admission in sciences. So as present though, but when I say that the students appear in the single entrance test, they will be getting admission across the states. So when you get the admission across the states, I believe that this situation will also improve, that more students will be getting the admission. Absolutely. As the quality of the education appears to be improved.
All right. So really welcome move by the HRD Ministry in the lines of NEET examination. Now we'll have a single engineering entrance exam. That would definitely reduce this confusion and streamline the admission process. Well, thank you so much, Professor Tankeshwar, for joining us today and sharing your perspective on that story.
Thank you very much.
Well, that is all for today, but don't forget to tune in next week at the same time. We'll be back with fresh news stories on science and technology. Bye for now. Thanks for your time.